Life for Maya was finally a blueprint she had gotten right. Every detail of her world, her thriving architecture firm, the warm, light-filled apartment, and most of all, Leo, her husband, fit into a harmonious, beautiful composition. Leo was her anchor, a successful freelance graphic designer who seemed to live and breathe the rhythm of her dreams. He was the one who brought her tea when she was lost in sketches late into the night. He was the calm voice that said it will all be okay when she took on too many projects at once. They were talking about a baby. It was to be their new greatest chapter. One afternoon, while organizing her home office, Maya found her old iPad buried under portfolios of visualizations. She smiled at the thought of old photos. She plugged in the charger. The tablet sprang to life, signaling a sync of messages. On the screen, one new conversation flashed. From Leo's number. To an unsaved contact. The preview of the first message stabbed at her eyes. Can't wait for tonight. This charade is killing me. The smile froze on her lips. The warmth she felt just a moment ago was replaced by a sudden, icy shiver. Her finger, almost autonomously, tapped the screen. What she saw was not some silly, trivial flirtation. It was a cold, methodical record of betrayal. Laconic messages, places, times. A mention of the Regency Room 412. And those words that pierced her heart like a dagger. She's talking about babies again. It just makes it harder. Betrayal. Pure, indisputable. But instead of a hot wave of anger, something else took over, a cold, architectural precision. Her mind, trained to find weak points in structures, switched to forensic mode. She checked their joint account, unusual cash withdrawals. His Google location history, which, through distraction or arrogance, he had not paused. Red dots clustered not at client meetings, but at a sleek apartment building across town. Every detail, every absence, every vague "I have a meeting" now fell into a terrifying, irrefutable chronology of lies. The man who had held her hand at her father's funeral had been building a parallel life. Stealthily, methodically, she photographed every piece of evidence. That evening, she was calm as still water. Leo, as usual, was joking, bustling about the kitchen. "You're quiet today, love," he said, handing her a glass of water. Maya looked at him without blinking. How was that meeting at the Regency? She saw the blood drain from his face. This was not a normal confrontation. It was a presentation of a ruin. She laid out each element before him, messages, transfers, maps. Leo did not deny it. He crumpled, but not under the weight of guilt, under panic. He confessed. "It was a mistake, it's over, you are my life." But in his eyes, she saw something more than fear of losing her. She saw the fear of his entire world exploding. The next morning, posing as a courier with a package for Mr. Leo, she got the apartment number from the concierge in that building. 5B. She walked to the door, her heart hammering like a drum. She knocked. The door was opened by a young woman, Sarah. And she was visibly, undeniably pregnant. Very pregnant. "Can I help you?" Sarah asked, instinctively placing a hand on her rounded belly. And behind her, on the wall, hung a large, beautiful, formal wedding portrait. Sarah in a white dress. And Leo in a suit, looking at her with love. There was no crash in Maya's head. There was an absolute, soundproof silence. This affair was not an affair. It was a second marriage. She was the other woman. She was the charade that was killing him. The foundations of her reality didn't crack. They turned to dust. The truth was monstrous. Leo had married Sarah 5 years ago, during a work placement abroad. Maya was his world here, creative, modern, accomplished. Sarah was his secret, a traditional domestic hearth there. He had been juggling 2 full lives, financed by both women, sustained by a tower of lies so complex it was almost genius. The baby was the bomb he could no longer conceal. Maya did not scream. She packed a suitcase while Leo sobbed in the hallway, lurching between attempts at explanation and desperate pleas. She called the best, most ruthless lawyer in the city. She gave Sarah the whole, painful truth, along with the evidence. This other wife had been living under the belief she had a husband who simply had a demanding mistress. The explosion was total. Leo lost everything, both women, all respect, his money, his place in the world he had so intricately built for himself. A year passed. Maya sat in her new studio, flooded with sunlight. Her designs on the boards were bolder, more daring, as if forged from the same steel she had to find within herself. She looked out the large window at the city, which was no longer her prison, but a landscape of possibilities. She had not rebuilt her life. She had designed it anew, from her own, indestructible materials. She was no longer just an architect of space. She had become the architect of her own, unyielding freedom.